All right, so today I am going to teach you how to make eggplant korma. Now, and it is an Indian dish, and I would like you to keep in mind that the recipe that I'm going to use, the spices are made for serving 4. I'm gonna do it for serving 2 as far as the eggplant is concerned, but this is an eggplant. What you're gonna do is you're gonna cut it up and you are going to cube it into 1-inch cubes. Then you're gonna lay it out onto a baking sheet, preferably with parchment paper, helps. Then you're gonna take it, you're gonna put it in a bowl and you're gonna toss it with salt and olive oil, get it coated. Then you're gonna put it on that and you are going to bake that 425 or 425 for 20 to 25 minutes, but I would say set a timer for like 12 and a half minutes. And that way you can flip it. You're gonna need to flip it. And Kitty, you can get down. So in any case, so I'm gonna walk you through while that is baking. You can go ahead and get started. I went ahead and put the ingredients, got everything all prepared and measured. That way this video wouldn't be like a lot of my videos that are way too long, okay? So let's get to it. So first, what you're gonna do, now you can cook in this kind of pan, you can cook it in this kind of pan. I would say that a lot of people are gonna cook it in like this kind of pan, but you want it to be deep because you want it to be deep. So anyways, let's get to it. First thing, what you're gonna need, your list of ingredients is gonna be, you're gonna need either olive oil or ghee. This is ghee, okay? What is ghee? Ghee is clarified butter. They have it in the Himalayan pink salt. They have it in garlic, blah, blah, blah. This is just the original recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take about a tablespoon. Now I want to put it out there. When you watch cooking videos, if you will notice, a lot of the times they are saying, oh, use a tablespoon of olive oil. And then you see them dump a bunch of olive oil. So cooking is just kind of like that. You kind of just go with whatever feels good to you. So the recipe calls for a tablespoon of ghee, and I'm looking for the spoons that I put out. I know I put them out. In any case, here they are. All right. So you're gonna take, and you're gonna get yourself your ghee. You're gonna throw it in there. All right. And now you can use olive oil or ghee. Ghee is expensive, but if you're gonna do Indian cooking, I like to use it, the traditional stuff. You can make clarified butter also. You can watch a video on how to do that.
It's great for people with allergies too.
It's great for people with allergies. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the stove on to like a medium high. We're gonna get that pan heated up. Over here, like you see, so with this, you're gonna wanna serve for me, I'm doing basmati rice. I like a rice cooker, okay? So it makes it very easy. When you use a rice cooker, you put it in there, you have your little cup that you measure with, then it has little lines in the back that tell you how much water to add to it. And then you literally just push this button and you get perfect rice. You can cook it on the stovetop all you want, but I'm good with a rice cooker. Some people are not. They don't like them. That's fine. I do. So here's the ingredients that you're gonna need for this recipe. Is you're gonna need olive oil or ghee, all right? You're gonna need, Okay, over here. You're gonna
Oh,
You're gonna need, okay, you're gonna need 1 tablespoon of curry. This curry I got from a co-op, and I totally recommend that if you have a co-op, even somewhere near you, you can find that you can get healthy food at a reasonable price, right? Also, it doesn't matter what, you don't have to use organic. I'm using organic stuff, but you don't have to. The idea is making good, wholesome food for yourself at home. And today, commercial food, fast food, food that you can just pop in the microwave, it is full of poison. So you're not going to feel good. And if you wonder why your cholesterol is high, why your blood pressure is high, why you have inflammation, why you just don't feel good, a lot of it is diet. Most of it is diet. So even if you can just start small and incorporate a home cooked meal with quality home cooked meal once a week, then that's a start. Okay, so ingredients. I have chopped kale, which I'm going to put in it. That is optional, by the way. I also am going to put in chickpeas. That is also optional, but I'm going to put those in. You're going to need a diced tomato. You're going to need onion. You're going to need coconut milk or cream. And you're going to need heavy cream or yogurt. And so if you're going to use yogurt and heavy cream, it is 1/2 cup. So you'd use 1/2 cup of coconut milk or 1/2 cup of yogurt. And you're going to use 1/4 cup of coconut cream or 1/4 cup of heavy cream. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of fresh ground ginger. If you can't get that and you have like ginger powder or something, that will work too. That's fine. Don't get overwhelmed if you feel like I don't have all those ingredients and stuff. No problem. You can always make do, 3 cloves of garlic chopped, but if you need to use garlic powder, then that's okay too. So first thing we're gonna do, now that we got this butter going, is we are gonna get the onions started. And now, doing all my prep, I washed all my dishes, and the reason I do that is I'm a firm believer in the idea of cleaning as you go. I like to clean as I go because that way after dinner I'm not dealing with a horrendous mountain of dishes. All right, so now we're gonna cook these onions, and I hope everybody's doing good today. This is a new dish to me. My aunt is over for dinner. She is the camera woman tonight, and this is one of her favorite dishes at the Indian restaurant. Something I want to talk about too is that, at the Indian, now look, I understand that there's a lot of people who are struggling and who are suffering from food insecurity, and I want you to know that I absolutely acknowledge that. And I want to say that, if people are on like EBT, you can actually go to the farmer's market, and most farmer's markets are going to have a program where they're going to double that so that you can shop at the farmer's market. So I just want you to know that. All right, so back to it. We've got 1 tablespoon of curry. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. We're going to some sea salt, which we're going to salt it to taste. 1 teaspoon of garam masala. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of coriander. And we have got 3 cloves garlic, 1 tablespoon fresh ground ginger or ginger paste. Like I said, oh, the other thing is you're going to need 1/3 of a cup of either cashews or almonds. I didn't have either, so what did I do? I blended peanuts. Did 1/3 of a cup of peanuts and 1/3 a cup of water and put it in a blender and blend it until it's smooth. Now with the onion, we want to cook the onion just until it is soft and a little translucent. Let that go. Why I like cooking in a Dutch oven for me is a very versatile piece of cooking equipment, because it can go in the oven, it can do so many different things. Here's the other thing too. I want people to understand, I'm not wealthy. I have a lot of nice cooking utensils and pans and stuff. I shop at thrift stores. And if you know what to look for, everybody's got Google Lens now. So if you know what to look for, you can find high quality cooking items, pans, pots, spatulas, knife sets. I got these 4 knives at a thrift store. I think I paid a couple dollars a piece. I looked this knife up. It's a Cutco made in America. It's extremely sharp. This knife is like over $200 for just this knife, and it is a great knife. And so there's like, you're looking at $500 at least in just these 4 knives right here. And I found them at a thrift store. So it is possible to, but work with what you got. But if you want better, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can just shop at thrift stores. And if you keep your eye out, eventually, what is it they say? Even a dog finds a steak in a trash can every now and again. And that's kind of my theory. That's how I've done it. So, all right, now that we've got the onions going, next we are going to, hold on. All right, next we're gonna add the garlic and the ginger. We'll give this onions we're gonna give the onions just a little bit longer, maybe a couple more minutes. Also, the recipe does call for diced chilies, but I didn't have any chilies to dice. So I'm gonna I have some cayenne red pepper, or you can probably get away with crushed red pepper flakes. I'm gonna use the cayenne pepper. If you use chilies, you might not be able to control the spice level, but I know if I'm using this, I can control the spice level by just putting a tiny little bit. Probably like 1/8 of a teaspoon will probably give it just a little kick. And I'm gonna go in. All right, see, and I found these at a thrift store too. They're vintage, but they're great. All right, so I'll keep that out. All right, now that the onions are there where I want them, so now I'm gonna add the ginger and the garlic, and I'm gonna let that go for about a minute. Really what you're just trying to do is release that. You'll notice there's a fragrance that garlic will immediately give. And you put that in, you don't put it in with the onions because you do not want that garlic to burn. All right, if you will stay with the pot. All right, and I'll let that go for just a minute. All right, now we're gonna put in the tomato, and we're gonna cook that until it's soft. It's starting to look really good in here. Okay, now I'm gonna test one of these guys here. Yep, they're soft. All right, tomatoes are soft. Now we are gonna add the cashew or almond or peanut blended stuff. Now, if you decide you're gonna make it for 4 people, you're gonna wanna double the amount of eggplant. But all the rest of the spices, the recipe I'm using is for 4, but I like to make a lot of sauce and I like to use spice. So, okay, now we're gonna stir this in. Oh yeah, it's already starting to get thick. Now we will add in the cream and the yogurt. Okay, and this is when we will also add in all the spices. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh man, it smells good already. But you see, like, yes, there's a little bit of prep, but honestly, I could make this meal a bunch of times for maybe a fifth of what it would cost me to go have this dinner with my aunt in the restaurant. Probably more. Plus, I'll still have a lot more extra spices and things like that. So I'm gonna add in the curry. I'm going to add in the turmeric. And I'm going to turn this down. I'm gonna put in the garam masala, the coriander, get this all good. What do you think of the smell like, Karen?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too. Okay, we'll add some salt. And what they call, we're gonna let it, I turned the heat down and we're gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. You wanna show it, what it's looking like in there? All right, so we're gonna put the lid on and I'll see you in about 5